I look a mess. I ain't even trying. But good morning, YouTube. I came in to check back in with my subscribers. Um, I have been a little bit busy once again, running through the ATL, trying to get things done. Still trying to get stuff situated and whatnot. I told y'all I was going to do another video the other day because I was constantly interrupted on my lives. I do apologize for that. But that's a lot of stuff that I have been taking care of. When it comes to fruition, then you guys will know about it. But right now, like I said, I'm working on a lot of stuff, so I'm not telling nobody what I'm doing, but I'm showing up to my channel to make sure that everybody knows that I'm okay, that I still have a lot going on. Um, and I'm very thankful for everybody that comes in and hit the like button and comment and stuff like that, and they support. I really appreciate it. But yeah, it is 8:31 where I am now. It looked like it's about to rain. I don't mind the rain. I kind of like the smell of rain here and there, so it doesn't really bother me. Um, Before I get ready to take care of a few things, I decided to do my live. I'm not sure if I'll have time to do another live later tonight, so I came in now when it's not as hot because Atlanta gets very hot out here. Um, I'm used to Florida's weather, but coming from Detroit, it's kind of cold, so I'm still kind of acclimating to the temperature down here. Um, that's one thing I do appreciate. I appreciate the weather here so far because I know when the wintertime comes, it's not as cold as it would be in Detroit, Michigan. Um, Detroit, Michigan gets very cold, and since Miami is my second home, I could not stand that winter time in Michigan because it gets so cold. Like, and I'm light skinned, so I turn blue. And I turn completely blue, and my nose turns red like Rudolph. So it is what it is. But yeah, YouTube has been doing a lot of upgrading. I'm very appreciative to the upgrading. They're starting to get a lot more like TikTok and Facebook. I've noticed as an influencer, they're starting to do more for the features who are people who are active on YouTube, who honestly be on YouTube a lot. YouTube is where I learn a lot of stuff. I learn everything from YouTube. So that's why I'm here, and I have came back to um, where it all started at, which was YouTube. I got a little distracted because doing Google and search engine optimization. I kind of had to work with TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram in order to get number one on Google. But Janae's House of Beauty is not going anywhere. There'll definitely be some changes. I'm not aware of the changes that are going to go on. But I am grateful for any changes that are coming my way because, like I said, I'm a business owner. And I just love. Good morning. How are you? I'm doing great this morning. Like I said, I'm so grateful for the changes that YouTube is making. I don't know exactly all in what tell, even though that they are doubling for some reason, they are doubling the qualifications to be in the YouTube Partner Program. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit scared of it, but I'm just gonna go with it because I know there are other ways that they are opening up for people to get paid, because they say that a lot of the influencers on YouTube have not been making the money that they have been receiving. A lot of us influencers have really been making pennies because of the changes that they made. Of course, Sanika. Let me know if you're in Atlanta. Let me know where you from, what state you're calling from. That way I know um, where most of my subscribers are coming from. I know most of my subscribers are coming from Detroit because that's where I'm from. And then I post in Atlanta because I'm from Atlanta. I'm not from Atlanta, but I'm in Atlanta. Miami is my second home, so I'm quite sure that a lot of my viewers are coming from there as well. Okay, Chicago, the Chi-Town. Yeah, y'all are our sister city. So, yeah, my sister lives out there. My sister and her whole family lives out there in the Windy City. Y'all downtown is really cold for some reason. I went out there, and you think Detroit is cold, but the way the windshield factor is in Chicago, you out there and the wind just whips between the buildings, man. I can't deal. No deal. That's my thing. I can't move from one city that's just as cold as Michigan because I'm always trying to run from that cold. Um but yeah, I like the South. I do appreciate the South, even though it's a little bit too hot to do most of the hairstyles that you would in Michigan. The braids are very popular out here, and people that are natural, because you really can't do much out here because it's so hot. So most of my cousins out here, we are natural because I understand it. I mean, if I did have a perm, it would sweat out in about a week because I'm such an active person. Um, I like to do a lot of activity in the morning, a lot of exercising, but I said I was going to bring a lot of that to my subscribers. I have to keep it PG though, because YouTube has their guidelines. Thank you so much, love. Like I said, YouTube has their guidelines, so I have to, be careful what I use on exercise. I work out my arms a lot. I get a lot of compliments. Oh, your arms are kind of big. I don't think they're big, honestly, but you know, it is what it is. But I wish I had a topic to talk about today. I'm just in until I start making more wigs and more lace fronts. On my channel, I think I'm going to start doing the wigs and the lace fronts. I'm going to start doing them live. I used to be scared of making the wigs and the lace fronts because it takes so long um, on the live. And then on top of that, a part of my journey, if you've been following me for a while, I had my surgery about 3 or 4 years ago. So I had both of my surgeries 3 or 4 years ago, and I was still kind of swollen. That's what kind of slowed me down on my YouTube channel because the healing process was really tough on me. Especially me being at a mature age. I guess the collagen hasn't been, kicking. Collagen ain't been doing what it's supposed to be doing. That's why I take a lot of herbs and a lot of collagen treatments, things that up my skin productivity, because I don't like to wear makeup. I'm not a makeup person, even though I'll do it every now and then. Um, I don't know if I'm the only one, but I'll put on the makeup and then I wash it off immediately because I hate the look of old makeup. It doesn't bother me. It bothers me, and I don't like to look like a drag queen, if you get what I'm saying. I think I'm not the only one that, just refuses to have that makeup look. But I haven't done lives in a long time compared to when I first started. I was doing a lot of, voiceovers and things like that, and YouTube's YouTube's guidelines is not to use reuse content. So I got in trouble for a lot of the videos that I did before, because I don't know whether stars were watching me or other influencers were watching me, but you know, I guess somebody reported my channel, or maybe it was the AI that I was doing voiceovers, which is not really, which is not YouTube standards. Then it says, what it say? The message is held for review. Um, oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I smoke Black and Mild, so I really don't think so, you know, but I still kind of sing a little bit. I'm a singer in the shower, so, you know, it is what it is. But the title of the video is, if there's a will, there's a way. I know a lot of us are struggling as influencers and YouTubers, but we have to, you know, kind of let things go and still show up on our channel, to make sure the algorithm sees us. I know I'm not the only influencer that has a day-to-day life, you know, upkeep, and also um, challenges with jobs and etc. And then at the same time, I'm trying to run a business, and only Lord knows where I'm gonna be from here to the next year or so if I keep going. So I'm trying my best to keep active no matter what I'm doing. Just to let y'all know, I'm showing up. I just don't have all of the supplies that I used to have, because I've been moving around in Atlanta for so much, for such a while. You know, kind of just can't sit still because of the establishment that is needed to be in Atlanta. I think I'm gonna start recording videos of me being downtown Atlanta more often, because I love the downtown Atlanta area. The cities are very nice. Um, no, I don't give out numbers or anything like that. I'm kind of talking to somebody at the moment, and it took him a long time for him to get my number. So, you know, I'm kind of not, you know, into that right now. I'm more so focused on my business. I'm focused on my channels. I'm focused on my subscribers. Um, and also the new ideas that I have planned for my channel. I'm trying to come up with originality and something that is completely different compared to what I'm used to doing on my channel, if that makes any sense. Um, I'm pretty much of an introvert, so I don't want to do the same thing that everyone else is doing on my channel. I want to be different in some type of way. So, you know, I see all the influencers, they come to my channel because I be on YouTube and Facebook a lot. So um, I want to be a little bit different, if that makes any sense. Especially at the age of 40, it's a blessing to not look your age. A lot of people say, oh, I thought you was like 35 or something like that. No, you know, I'm an 80s baby. I'm a younger 80s baby. So, you know, I'm very grateful for that. It's a lot of young guys that try to talk to me, and I just, you know, I don't drink or, you know, smoke or anything like that. You know, I kind of like keep myself sober, if that makes any sense. Um, I stay too busy, and I want to make sure my mind is right, because my ideas kind of get a little bit clogged if I'm, you know, doing any extracurricular activities, you know, not in that way, but, you know, drinking or etc. I really admire being sober. I don't even want to have a shot, if that makes any sense. But yeah, it's really dim today. I was hoping that it would be some sun today, but we don't have that much sun out here. Um, and if you guys have any live suggestions on what you want me to do on live, as when it comes to hair or whatever, something that doesn't cost a lot of money, eat out. That's probably, I like to eat a lot of vegetables, a lot of fruit. I don't prefer to eat out. I don't like, oh God, I hate McDonald's. I hate Wendy's. I hate all fast food for some reason. And the only reason why for that is because I used to eat fast food a lot. Now, if it comes to dining out to a restaurant, Red Lobsters or something like Benihana, because I used to work at Benihana, I can definitely eat something that I fast food. It's just not. Hold on, it's reconnecting. Okay, it's reconnecting. But a lot of that fast food and stuff is really not good for the gut. Okay. So I take a lot of herbs and stuff like that to get rid of the bacteria in the gut and the stomach. Because they say that to heal your body, it starts with the gut. I take a lot of oregano oil, and black seed oil, which is good to clean any of that out, any of the parasites. I've been studying like parasite cleanses and things like that for a while. If you see on my channel, I have um, I have one ingredients that I'm using right now, but I'm going to start sharing the ingredients that I take on a daily basis that help my skin look good and clear. Um, hot teas, with oregano oil. But the thing about oregano oil is that it has a really tart taste to it, and like an alcohol feel. It burns the mouth and stuff like that. But I feel so much better because I don't have a taste for sugar. I don't like sugar at all. I drink coffee black. I don't like cream. I don't like sugar in it. If I do want to sweeten something, um, I use honey or something like that because I just refuse to take sugar. Anything that's natural, like the sugar cane or something like that. Now I'll use that because it's completely natural, but I'm on my natural journey when it comes to the hair, to things that I'm taking. Everything is natural. Even when it comes to canned goods, I prefer to cook my food. I prefer to like cut the potatoes um, and shuck the corn and the beans and things like that. I just find it to be so much healthier. Like the ones that grandma used to make, back in the day. The grandmothers now are different than the ones back then because grandma used to make everything fresh. Um, I'm also a grower. So once I start growing my food and stuff like that, I will start sharing my progress on that. Um, I'm growing indoors right now. When I be able to be blessed enough to get me a little garden in the backyard, I can have like a little garden and grow things outside and etc. Things like that excite me. It's like one of my hobbies to grow things and whatnot. Even though I have been growing indoors for a while, I'd rather grow something that I can eat because when you think about it, we have a lot of plants indoors and none of us really grow food, like spinach and carrots and things like that. So a lot of that I find to be a lot healthier for you as a person, especially when we get at a more mature age. I think it's a better way to eat because they put so much, you know, um, pesticides and all type of things on our food now to increase the hormone. Look at stuff falling. It's raining, y'all. It's just sprinkling. But I'm okay because I'm under the little shed thing, so I'm not gonna get wet. But yeah, that is my journey. I guess my beauty career has not only started me to take care of my appearance, but my inner appearance too, because at the moment when I started to get so stressed out as an influencer, my skin was acting up and all types of things because I was eating the wrong type of food. And beauty doesn't just come with putting makeup on and lace fronts and doing your hair. You kind of like have to eat the correct things. Um, oh, y'all, it's even getting darker. It's raining for real out here. Um, yeah, I said it's not sprinkling no more. But yeah, you have to eat the correct foods. And I think I did share years ago when I first started a lot of the herbs I was taking back in the day, like Hung Shu Wu and stuff like that. And me being 40, I don't have any gray hair. And I used to wonder why I wasn't having gray hair. And I started researching a lot of the things that I was taking to keep me from having gray hair. I have one gray eyelash and probably one gray nose hair, which is weird for me to say that, but I've been looking for them. And at this age, I don't have any. And my sisters, my older sisters and brothers, they have gray hair, like a full head of gray hair. And I'm like, I don't have any of that yet. They're like, it's gonna come. I don't see it. It's not coming. But by the grace of God, I'm still gonna keep taking whatever that I'm taking when it comes to herbs to keep me from getting that graying process. And as I start to research them again, I'm gonna let y'all know what I'm taking. A lot of them are Chinese herbs. And I shared to you guys the snow mushroom that I was taking lately, a lot of sea moss. I've been taking sea moss. I got some more sea moss in the house that I need to prepare, because you got to soak it overnight and then boil it down and let it cool and stuff like that. Sea moss is really not that bad, but you have to wash it or you're going to get that salty taste from the sea that you really can't take. But it's really good for the body. I think it says sea moss has, I don't want to say it wrong, maybe 95 to 97 minerals that the body needs for sea moss. So I've been taking that a lot, and it's been improving my collagen. It was helping my process for healing from the female feminization surgery I got 3 and 4 years ago. And I think that's what slowed my process, because I'm such a get up and go type of person, and I'm a little bit stubborn, so I had to go back and do another amount of surgeries because it was covered at the time. My insurance was helping me with those, so it's a blessing. But the healing process um was really a time, and I think I was not prepared for um, the slow healing process. And that's the first time that I ever had a surgery, so it was a little bit scary for me. I shared my journey. I didn't share the part where they actually did the actual surgery, but before process and after process of the surgery and the healing process, I shared that But it took me so long to heal because I couldn't sit down. I went back to work after, I want to say, 2 months. I had to go back to work because I was managing the store. So they called me, Janae, we need you to come back in. Like a warrior woman, I came back, and that was really not good. Besides the fact that I still had to record videos, and it was taking me so much time to edit the videos. Um, and when you learn how to edit videos, it becomes addicting, especially when it comes to long form editing. And I consider myself to be very creative in that way. So I started thinking out of the box and creating things, and doing artwork with my videos and etc. And it was kind of fun, but it took so much time um, for me to post the video, and then I had to go to work and etc. So it is what it is. It's 8:56, y'all, and it is so dark out here. But one thing I love about the rain is that once it finishes raining, the sun comes out. It kind of like clears the sky. But it will get kind of muggy, which will remind me of Florida weather. For some reason, I kind of miss the Florida weather because I've been, keen to the hurricanes and things like that when I was in Miami. But I did have to go home to Detroit because it was such a fast pace living. I had to slow down. That's honestly where I started my business to begin with. I started in Miami. Um, that's when I first came up with the idea of selling hair and etc. But you know, everybody started selling hair at that point, and I was like, do I want? It took me a couple years to say I don't even think I want to sell hair no more. And everybody is doing it. So I prefer to just be a business owner, a business owner in itself, because I get to learn things that I didn't get a chance to learn back in the day, like how to manage my own things, opposed to managing someone else's restaurant or someone else's job, or having a boss that needs you to manage their business and they're making so much money off of you. Um, Once I woke up and realized that, businesses make so much money off of us, I needed to make my own business. Especially during the COVID-19 stages. Um, but I'm grateful. I'm not complaining or anything like that. I'm grateful for all the experiences that I've had, the good experiences and the bad experiences I've had being a business owner, because I learned a lot from, failing, but I was learning at the same time, learning from other influencers, learning from other businesses, learning from working for businesses and managing businesses. So I think I have the gist of, how to run my own business from running someone else's, if that makes any sense. Running someone else's business and managing someone else's business, even up to 14 hours a day on your feet, taking inventory and things like that, and working so hard for another business that decides to let you go once they feel like there's no need for you any longer. It's rough out here for an adult that is working a job for someone. or a franchise or a corporate business, knowing that any moment that you don't keep up that momentum, they'll decide to let you go, or they feel like that you can be replaced. Okay. Um, you have to kind of see the blessing in that, in the long run, because you already know how to run a business because you've been doing it on your own every morning, from open to close, and they calling you. And then even if you, let's say you're not even management, you may be shift lead, but you're doing the manager's job. The only thing that you're not doing is the paperwork. Then once you start doing the management and you learn how to do the actual paperwork, you'll say, I wonder if I can take this knowledge and apply it to my own business. And I'm definitely going to do it because I've been running someone else's business for so long that I should have an idea how to run my own business. But at the same time, I have to do a budgeting system on my own inventory and etc. And a lot of that knowledge, people won't just tell you up front. You have to find it out from, sometimes basically kind of failure. But like I said, failure is also a blessing at the same time, because once you become awoke and you realize that they're making so much money off of you and the business is making millions, maybe billions, off of you running that business every day, every morning, you begin to wake up like, man, I could really run my own business. It's not easy. It's very tough. Um, this is coming from someone who used to, sell candy at high school and, braid hair on the side, people in the neighborhood, just to get your name out there, or just to have the creative work, to love to do creative things, to kind of like work with your hands. It's kind of a craft at the same time because you enjoy doing it. But once you realize how horrible people can be sometimes, you kind of don't want to do it anymore. Um, which is kind of tough. And then you have to think about later on, well, when it comes down to it, this is what I enjoy. So why not make my own business out of something that I love and I enjoy to do? Is there a better way to do this without feeling all the backlash and the negative energy from having to run, and people giving you negative and nasty attitudes because uh, they're having a bad day and they just want to kind of project that onto you. And my hand is itching for some reason. But it's a learning process. Um, Even though it may become boring at one point because it seems like you're not getting anywhere, but you kind of are, because you're gaining the knowledge. I guess it would be the same thing as if you were going to college or you were going to school for something. Um, but you're paying for that type of knowledge, so they actually will give you that knowledge more freely, opposed to you working for a business and them not trying to tell you exactly that you are running their business. Because if they told you you was running their business, you would kind of be woke to it, and you would be like, wait a minute, I honestly should have a share in this business. I'm doing so much work for y'all. But it's a realization. A lot of people don't wake up to have that realization that I've been running your business for so long, a corporate business or a franchise business, that I actually could run my own no matter how small I start, because everything starts off small. Even McDonald's, which I can't stand McDonald's, they started off with one store to begin with. Now they have a McDonald's in 52 states, and now they even have them in China, which is the worst food, because they probably have a lot of that meat ain't real. The potatoes, the fries don't even taste like potatoes any longer. You know, um, but it's the stuff that they are feeding you on a daily basis that's really not good for you. And then when you start working for companies like that, you're being running like you're ran like crazy. You're and you're not eating properly. Um, but even the bigger companies like Red Lobster and Benihana, because I've been a waitress for so long, um, Benihana and Red Lobsters, there's such a high demand and the places are so expensive. But you being a waitress, you're the one that's pushing the food. You're the one that is doing the promotion on the inside of the store. And man, once you realize that you are doing all the promotion and you're running the business, it's like, look out, because this individual is smart enough to know that we wouldn't be where we are today if they wasn't doing the footwork on the inside of the store. That's when they have to look out for you, and they're like, okay, they're too smart, I have to let them go, because they are understanding that this store would not run properly without them. And then that's when you become a threat to the business, because you know too much. A lot of people are not, woke to that part. What I'm saying? It's different when, you're working for a warehouse or whatever, and you don't know the mechanics of certain things, and you don't know how to fix things or be an automotive tech. That comes a little bit more of a little bit of prestige, because if you don't know how to operate a vehicle or keep a vehicle running, then you kind of need the company. But when it comes to you selling a company's product on a day-to-day basis, um, you begin to learn that, wow, I possibly could do this on my own if I do it right. Of course, there's going to be some failures. I mean, that's with anything. I mean, look at me at this point. I've learned a lot, but I've lost a lot. But I'm not starting from scratch, because I still have the knowledge of how to run the business itself. And that right there is gold. That's gold in itself, that you have the knowledge to run someone else's business, especially for a certain amount of years. You know, and that's another reason why I would not quit as a business owner, because maybe I have to, fine tune some things. I would, switch some things up, but I wouldn't quit. There's no reason to quit. Man, it is raining hard now. This is sleeping weather, but I'm not about to go to sleep. I'm up. I got so much things to do this morning. I'm gonna be running around taking care of some business. So hopefully this rain stops. I washed my face and I got in the shower and everything, but I still have to do something to my hair. But that's the least of my worries. I just want this rain to stop raining. so I can go run around Atlanta, go downtown, and take care of my business and stuff like that. Um, besides the fact that I have family here in Atlanta, Atlanta has some of the most successful black business owners. Um, Even though they're kind of hard on you when you first get here, no matter what state you are, they are a little bit tough on you. They are. I've definitely acknowledged that. It's probably because they have the knowledge already in order to get to where they need to be, and I understand that. Oh, hey, from Italy, Povolindo. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I don't want to butcher any names. Hi, how are you? From America, I really appreciate you coming in and sharing the love. But yeah, when it comes back to successful African American business owners in Atlanta, that is the reason why I moved out here, because they have some of the most successful black people out here. And regardless of how they treat you and how they act towards you, you kind of like have to, deal with that a little bit, because you're still learning from them no matter the attitude that they are giving you. And I acknowledge that. And I'm really not a quitter, even though they may see me on social media and think I'm not posting. I'm doing something else. I'm definitely doing the footwork and the hard work that it takes for me to learn something. And everything you just can't share. You just can't share everything on social media, because like I said in my previous videos, people, they learn from you, but they don't give you the credit for it. They watch you, but they'll just never tell you, oh, I learned this from you. You were my inspiration. You taught me how to do this and etc. But, they'll never tell you that, because they want to make it seem like they came up with the idea. And when actuality, you were the reason for the season, the blueprint for everything to go on, and as I realized, a lot of big companies, they learn from small people like me, small influencers, that, oh, that's a good idea. I have the money. Let me go and invest in that. And that way they have the upper hand on you, because you may not have the funds to take that into fruition, but you have the idea. You just don't have the money, or the know types of things. And then that's when people like big businesses and rich people, they take advantage of that, because you don't have the actual money to do it. And a lot of times money does run the world, even though it is the root of all evil. But you kind of need that in order to have a successful business. And they know that, and they take advantage of that a lot. But you, as a small time YouTuber or influencer or a small business owner, you can't take that to heart, because they started somewhere too. Man, it's raining. Hold on, look. Y'all see that rain? I am so glad I'm under this viaduct. It is raining boots out here. Thank you so much, love. I'm doing great. I'm trying to stay dry right now. I can't step out there, so I'm gonna have to wait. Yeah, I'm definitely trying to stay dry right now. My hair is already tattered, so I'm not trying to jump out there and get even worse than what I'm doing right now. So yeah, but you know, it's a struggle, and the best thing is to keep smiling. Oh, is it hot today? Okay. I imagine it's going to be hot in Atlanta too because I'm down south. It's definitely going to be hot today, and it's going to be muggy because of this rain. I'm quite sure of it. So I'm going to be prepared to sweat later on because it's definitely going to be drying up. But best thing about the rain weather, the sun definitely comes out brighter for the rest of the day. Well, I live in Atlanta, but I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan. It's the weather is beautiful out here. The houses are big and pretty. I like the greenery out here. Okay, so you're in South Italy, so it's hot out there too. I could imagine. Yeah, I could definitely imagine. It's it's summer dress wear, most definitely, because you don't want to be hot. But I'm stuck in a jean because that's kind of all I have at the moment, and I like to be comfortable as well. Um, but yeah, man, it's raining. It was raining tough. Yeah, it's definitely raining tough out here, but it'll be okay. I guess I'm stuck doing my live because I'm under the viaduct. I kind of can't move, you know. It is what it is. Okay, Detroit. I would love to visit Detroit too. I have been in New York and in New York City a couple of times in the 2010 and 2011. Yes, it's definitely cold like it would be in New York because New York is cold as well. Yeah, it's last time I've been in Miami about that year, like 2000, 2010, 2011. I think I was in Miami then. I love the South, you know, and since I be in the South so much, I can't take that wintertime cold a lot. That wintertime cold is something else to deal with. I promise you, once you lived in the South, everybody knows that if you're from the North and you move to the South and you move back, you like, why is it so cold to me now? Because your blood has accustomed to that heat, I guess, you know. So you can't take that cold anymore. I'll probably go back to Michigan. I'll probably go back to Michigan in the summertime next year. I'm definitely not going in the wintertime because I'm gonna need me a fur coat for that weather up there. Definitely gonna need me a fur coat. Hopefully, my channel will make sure that I'll be able to buy me a new fur coat for the winter time. Who knows? Then maybe I'll get a blessing. I like Easy Coast, and I would like to visit the South. You know, Tennessee, Kentucky, Louisiana, and so on. You know, Louisiana has a lot of history. I like going out there for their hand grenades. The slushy alcoholic drinks, but you have to be careful with those because you drink those, they taste so good that you will be, yeah, on the East Coast. See, I'm on the West Coast. I for some reason I appreciate the West Coast. The East Coast is it's a little bit different. I think it's drier out there for some reason compared to the West Coast. It's more humid out here because we're closer to the water. I think Las Vegas is the East Coast too, like California. Those are all the East Coast. But they are extremely dry. I can't stand the sand and the desert area for some reason. It kind of gets stuck to your skin and stuff like that. But man, as soon as I said something, it started raining harder. I could swim in that. Yeah, I love jazz music. It's so relaxing. I like jazz music. I fall asleep to it. Drink some warm cocoa, things like that. Is a history. Full history. Yeah, Louisiana is a full history. I love the history of Louisiana, and they have a lot of black culture. Um, that's the West Coast, but just because I hate heat weather, I prefer cool places. Yeah. I don't know. I can. The heat is sometimes unbearable, but I prefer it to be hot than cold because I can just come in and I can take a shower and wash off all the sweat, so it really doesn't bother me. I prefer it to be warm for some reason. Maybe I'm different. Especially when we get mature, nobody wants to feel uncomfortable because it's so cold, we frozen. So that makes a lot of sense. Man, it is raining. As soon as I said something, it started raining harder. I'm stuck under this viaduct, y'all. I can't go nowhere. Yeah, I'm definitely stuck under the viaduct. It's gonna be alright. Well, that's the point. I love Afro-American culture too. When I have been in New York, I really love Harlem so much. I was living too close to Harlem in Washington Heights. Okay. I've never been to Harlem. But I've been to Manhattan. I don't know. New York is just so crowded to me though. Like, I'm an introvert, so the big crowds make me kind of nervous a little bit. Even though in Louisiana I didn't get nervous of the crowds in Louisiana, but in New York, the people are really on top of you because of the skyscrapers. Um, those tall buildings, and then I'm afraid of heights too, so I could never be at the top of a skyscraper. I could never live in any of those because I just can't look. I'm tall enough. I'm 6'2". I feel like I can't look down that far for some reason. It'll bother me. Like, I can't, I don't like all those heights. Yeah, right. Oh no, you love the height. Oh no, I can't do the heights. I don't even like roller coasters. They scare me. Like, yeah, I don't like. I'm claustrophobic and I don't like heights. If we do anything else that has that, I can have fun. Harlem is a place on Manhattan. Okay, it's an area famous for the Afro-American culture. Even if I've read it's changed so much in the last years. Yeah, so Manhattan. Manhattan is very nice. But I can't take all of the big crowds out there. I like people, but at a minimum, you know what I'm saying? Like at a distance, or we can talk for a while, but I'm not a clubber type of person, where people are on top of you, like at concerts. It just kind of bothers me. Like I said, introverts don't like those big crowds. I said, okay, it's time for me to go. I had fun. Y'all tell me how it was. But y'all can record a video or something like that. I'll enjoy watching it. I love big crowds and love. No, no, I can't do it. No, no, I can't do it. I like the open spaces. I like the country. I like the beach. I like to watch the water and stuff like that. And if I'm by myself, I like to be able to see far, far wide type of thing. Yeah, I'm an introvert, so I'm completely the opposite. Um, I miss the beaches in Atlanta though. Well, I mean Miami. They say they have beaches in Georgia. I think there was. Oh, you're 3 hours from New York. Okay, where's that at? Um, are you in the United States? I like the country too. I hate the beach, especially if I have. What? How could you hate the beach? Oh my God, it is so relaxing to be on the beach, to hear the waves and the crash of the waves crashing together. Like, I love the beach. It is so calming to me. And that's probably why I don't mind the rain. I just don't like stepping into it. I like the sounds of it. Like, I will open all the windows and, just let the fresh air come in. Like, I like the atmosphere of the water. For some reason. And then I know it's not too many people running around outside, so I kind of got my peace because everybody is scared to run in the water. So I feel right at home when it starts raining and when the beaches. Yeah, I love it. I'm just weird like that. Yes, in New Jersey. Actually, I'm closer to Philadelphia and Delaware. I live in the country now, living in Atlantic City. Okay, yes, yes, I love the country. Um, Even though the bugs are horrible, I can't stand the mosquitoes now. I don't like the mosquitoes and the bugs, and I hate the smell of off, but I prefer the country. I just like open spaces and lots of foliage and different colors. Like, I want to go to Italy so bad because they say Italy is so beautiful. Um, Italy is beautiful. And what's another one where they have a lot of, trees and different colors and things like that? I have open spaces too, but I love the people too. Yeah, I love the people. I love the people, but I still want to be able to walk away from the crowd and enjoy myself, and then maybe come back to the crowd. But once I see nothing but endless people, I'm like, okay, I want to go back into my shell and I'm going to go back home for a minute and I'll deal with it later. If you want to come to Italy, you got a new friend here. I will cook Italian food for you, no doubt. Oh my God, I love Italian food. I just love Italian food. Probably because I can't cook Italian food. But oh my God, the linguine and the spaghetti and all of the pasta that you have there. I am a pasta fanatic. I just love pasta. And if everyone they ask me what's your favorite food, I love Italian food. It's just how you season the food and everything. Oh yeah, I like the cheese and the bread too. I'm not gonna lie. The cheese and the bread and the garlic bread and the garlic bread sticks. The big hunks of bread. Oh my God. I'm just dipping it in the sauce and I'm eating the linguine at the same time. Pastafarian. Okay, okay, a pastafarian. Yeah. I think I'm a pastafarian too, but I gotta have some meat to go with that. And a little bit of bread and garlic bread to go with that too. Yeah, I like that. Pastafarian. Yeah, that's a new word. I learn something new every day. Pause, but I love pastafarian. Um, It's probably pausing because of all of the rain that I'm getting out here. It's starting to slow down a little bit. But yeah, pastafarian. That is a new word. I love pasta and Italian spices and seasonings and um we have it's a Greek place in Michigan that we go to where they have the bread and the hot cheese. They put the hot cheese and they set it on fire and they say Oppa, and then they bring out the pasta and Italian and everything. I like to go out to eat. Now that I like going to restaurants. I just don't like fast foods basically. Oh my God, I have bad news for you guys. We don't eat garlic bread in Italy. Oh, you're lying. You don't eat. So what type of bread do you have? And Alfredo sauce is not so loved in Italy. We cook it just when the refrigerator is empty. Okay, so Americans, we kind of like Alfredo, but I guess that's your expertise, when it comes. Because I don't. Now that I think about it, I've never seen. Think about it. I've never seen Alfredo at an Italian restaurant. Now that I actually think about it, that makes a lot of sense. But you have a lot of pasta. Just don't do to look at the ingredients and the spices that you guys use because I really want to incorporate a lot of that in my own cooking at home. I'm such a foodie. When we start talking about food, we can go all over the place about that. Like literally, I love food. And you're making me hungry actually. But it has died down now, so it is 9:30. Give me a steak, baked potato, and I'm good. Oh, especially a T-bone steak. Who you talking to? With some A1 sauce and and a baked potato with butter, sour cream, chives, and some cheese. Oh, don't go there with no steak and potatoes. And I'ma overdo it because I want the pasta too on the side because I don't care if it's a double carb. I'm eating it anyway because those are my favorite foods. But I gotta have that steak. If you taking me out to eat, I'm gonna order steak and I'm gonna order some type of pasta. Got to have it. I am intrigued by steak and pasta, no lie, but you gotta have that baked potato. Okay, if you want, you can spread a garlic clove on grilled bread. Slice of you one of the bread smells like garlic. Okay, you want to spread the garlic clove. Garlic clove, that's interesting. On grilled bread. And then I see, I'm a fat girl at heart, so I want to put a little bit of cheese in there somewhere, some shredded cheese on top of that. And baby, we'll get to eating. Look, don't pick me to go out to eat anywhere because I'm not gonna eat cute. I eat proper. Don't get me wrong, but I'm gonna order some food, okay? And we gonna eat properly, okay? We came out to eat, and we all gonna eat properly. Okay, yeah, we can add cheese too. Okay, yeah, I like you. Yeah, we can put some Parmesan on there, some shredded cheddar. Yeah, we can do all that. Oh man, I love it. But y'all, it's getting late. I gotta get out of here, y'all. I might have to run in this rain. I really don't want to, but I got to get from under this viaduct because I've been stuck. We've been on here for about an hour and a half. I'm contemplating on not trying to do like seafood. Oh yeah, I love seafood. I love shrimp. And then I like lobster tails because I used to work for Benihana and Red Lobster, we had a lot of seafood there. We was, you know, we would serve a lot of that. So I ate that on a daily basis. But it doesn't really fill you up like you want to. Clams, I love clams if they're cooked properly. What else? Oysters. But oysters have to be cooked for me. I don't like cold oysters. They bother me. Oh my God. I cannot do a cold oyster. They feel. Oh my God. I can't stand cold oysters. They just, they don't, I don't think they were meant to be served cold. I can cook for you spaghetti with clams, red hot chili peppers, garlic, and chopped parsley. See, I love spicy food. I like the stuff that make your mouth tingle. Okay, everybody look at me because I cook with cayenne pepper and a lot of jalapenos and habaneros and things like that. When I cook, I'm always making something spicy. They be like, why is this so hot? Because I love spicy food for some reason. It gets the blood flowing, you know. Even if you got to drink some water with it, you know. And it is, sometimes it'll get hotter. Yes, I love spicy food. I'm a spicy food fanatic. But y'all, I got to go. If I keep talking, I won't get out of here and get out of this rain. Slow down. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. If you loved it, please subscribe. I'll catch you guys later. Okay, bye.